Okay, we're just going to flash the badges on this piece of shit, as usual. So we've just flashed the badges. Now I've just noticed a piece of what appears to be a little bit of quality control mishap with KM's dock feeder screws. You can see here on this side, you've got a screw. Okay, fine, that's good. But then you come to this side, and it's like, what the fuck? Isn't there meant to be a screw there, Konica? Haven't you got your fucking head screwed on? You've been thinking too much about the fucking weekend, you cunts. There we have it. This, I never touched this, of course. I'm not a fucking technician, but somehow Konica Minolta have neglected to put a screw in this side of the document feeder. So these two should have, I assume, should have screws. But no, Konica Minolta, so there we have it. Another thing to pin against Konica Minolta's ugly name. You gotta laugh, folks. They are a bunch of fuckwits. Anyway, the CEO should be responsible for overseeing this shit. It's just not good enough, Konica. But I don't use your fucking document feeder anyway. So go fuck yourselves, cunts. Okay, let's just not worry about it. It's not going to affect what I'm doing, but it shows just how shitty Konica Minolta is as a company. So, but you got to laugh at their expense. It is kind of amusing in a dark sort of a way. And of course you can hear the high-pitched squeak, just a bit, and the low-pitched squeak. So there you have it. You probably know about these because you've seen my demos. So yes, not a very good reflection on the company that manufactured this piece of fuck. What a stupid company. Konica Minolta. And I love taking the piss out of them. Stupid fucks. Okay, enough of that shit. We just got to get stuck in and get this silly piece of junk. This is relatively new. I think I've had it now for 5 months, I think. You got to laugh, guys and girls. You got to take the piss out of Konica Minolta. You got to. They're funny in a sense that they're not doing their job properly. They're total fucks. They're total idiots. They deserve to be piss-taked at every corner. Oh, it'd be good if someone could do a Konica Minolta piss take, a movie. I mean, after all, they've got a show called, they've got a play or a theatre called The Book of Mormon. You think that's fucking funny? Well, I think Konica Minolta would be even more of a riot than The Book of Mormon, the play. You got to laugh at the fucking company. I think if you know, the Book of Mormon apparently had some really good reviews, and they say, one source I read, I forgot what it was, said that it lived up to its hype, which is unusual. But the thing is, I'd like to see someone, that, of course, the Book of Mormon, if anyone knows it, they've seen it in Sydney advertised on buses and shit like that. Well, there should be they take the piss out of Mormons, right? And their faith. But basically that's nothing. That's not that funny. I think the best kind of piss take would be a piss take on Konica Minolta. I'd like to see someone write a piss take theatre play on what goes on in Konica Minolta. So we're just going to put this away. This is what we just did. So I just wish I could see a piss take theatre on the company Konica Minolta. I'd like to see them have the piss taken out of them. You know, at least Mormon people. I actually, funnily enough, I came across a couple of Mormons on my way to work one morning. They were really nice. They said hello to me, even though I didn't say hello, and I don't remember catching their attention. They were really friendly. So I don't think Mormons should be. I don't believe in the Mormon religion. I don't believe in it, but basically, these people are really, really nice people, from what I can tell. And yet they get the piss taken out of them. Well, Konica Minolta from my knowledge, are not the nicest company. So they deserve to really get the piss taken out of them. I don't know who's going to write a fucking piss take on Konica Minolta, but I'd totally piss myself laughing if someone did. It would be the most funniest thing I could ever imagine that could be brought to theatre, is a piss take on Konica Minolta. I just fucking wish that someone had the imagination to do that. I don't know, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I'm sorry, folks. It's not going to happen. I'm disappointed. I wish I could just take the piss out of this company. Maybe you'd have to have a person that once worked for Konica Minolta. You have to have someone that knows a bit about the company, because you've got to base it on facts, not fiction. Just because they're a bunch of assholes doesn't mean you can make up lies about them. You've got to keep your honesty intact to get the best results, because you don't want to tell lies, you just want to tell the truth, and even ask to be corrected every now and then. So yeah, maybe Konica Minolta, you can try and correct yourself in the comments section on my YouTube channel and see what I think there. But basically, you got to be honest when you're doing a piss take. Even if you're doing a piss take, you got to be honest about it. You got to make it truly representative of what you're piss taking. So yeah, so we got to collect as much facts and as much as possible on Konica Minolta and their fails. You got to make sure the fails that they exhibit are real. So, but I just showed you a missing screw. Well, someone obviously had a missing screw in their head when they were putting this thing together. So yeah, I've got to collect facts and stuff to make this I'm never going to make it in a theatre. I'm not a theatre person, so, and I don't know hardly nothing about what actually goes on inside a Konica Minolta photocopier factory or the office. I haven't been able to become a fly on the wall. All I can see is just how the product is presented, how it comes out, and things like that I found behind there are the facts that I can find, the faults that I can see, and you hear the squeaks, the squeaky noises and all that shit. That's not acceptable. So there seems to be something going on in the Konica Minolta kitchen, and the cooks are all there not doing their job. They're probably all too many cooks spoiling the broth. And yes, there is a cook in fucking Konica Minolta in Australia called David Cook. He's the managing director, the Australian managing director, so I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, anyway, enough about that. That's quite an interesting looking design. I think we can now call it quits, but you get my drift. I wish someone could write a piss take on Konica Minolta, just as much as they wrote a piss take on the Mormons. At least the Mormons are nice people. You can't really... I don't know if a piss take on the Mormons was really appropriate, but I think a piss take on Konica Minolta, if someone out there in this world could do it, well, let them do it. I'd love to see and watch a piss take on Konica Minolta. Anyway, gotta go.